Alright, welcome to day 20 of the Vera Series, and with 2.2 officially announced for December 22nd, we got a lot to prepare for. So hopefully by now, you're level 80. Starting out, you want to go to your artificial island, and then you want to go back to build, and then you want to hit claim, because remember, you can only hope these resources for 24 hours. On top of that, you want to make sure you clear your enemies, because you don't want to wait to the last moment, usually like I do. And of course, you want to check that exchange store, and you want to buy those weekly items, and you might want to go ahead and pick up those monthly items since we're going to be getting some new limited characters soon. But you want to make sure you do your Mia's Kitchen and you knock out your 4 bounties for the day. And I'm going to go with Vera since I have to do Starweave Night anyway. Next we have Vitality, starting with joint operations. So for today we got access to Shoulders, Helm, a Coco, and a Shiro Matrix. And we can do the end game. So these are actually pretty good dungeons, and you may want to use some vitality solutions, but now that we know patch 2.2 is coming out, you might be getting some level increases and maybe some new dungeons. But due to that, you want to check Interstellar Exploration, and you want to make sure you check Asphera, as well as check Vera, so that way you can get all of your Stargates, and you want to see if you have any level 3 Stargates. And the best way to tell is if this weapon battery category has a number 3, it's a level 3 Stargate, and if it has a number 2, it's a level 2 Stargate. And if you don't have any level 3s or level 2s, you could always do Dimensional Trials. And if you need money, you could always do Space-Time Domains. But it may not be bad to go ahead and get some Omnium Beacons to prepare for patch 2.2. Then we have our optionals, and that is giving gifts to your 1.0 character, and the best way to do that is to do the Black Market, Cetus Island, and do the Claw Machine, and knock out your 2 trainings for the day. But what is not optional is doing your 6 Funzones, and doing your 6 Greyspace Fissures. If possible, I would try to at least have this cleared out before 2.2 starts. But there are better rewards in the Twilight Zone, but with that 8-hour time limit, I feel like you got more time to go ahead and knock this out. But if you need help on how to do any of these, I got a guide on my channel. You also want to check appointed research and make sure your energy is not getting close to capping, because you can only get 5 free energy a day, but you can only hold 20. But if you enjoy these daily guides, I would greatly appreciate a like so that way they can spread more on YouTube. Then we got our events. Hopefully you logged in enough time so that way you got all the rewards. Then we have Starweave Night. Again, I recommend that you do Rudolph or Magma group so that way you can get 500 energy every Force Decipher. And you might want to go ahead and try to get the daily limit crystal chunks at the very least, because those can kind of help upgrade your gear. And if you really want to try to min-max, you could always try to go for that elemental ore box as well. But also today we have the Fall Guys event for Tower of Fantasy, and that should be coming out at 11 p.m. So if you're up, feel free to go ahead and do that so that way you can get some more rewards. But now let's talk about some of the news that came out last night, to where patch 2.2 is coming out December 22nd. And we also got a post from Mia talking about a lot of the things we can look forward to in patch 2.2 and even the weeks before then. So let me go ahead and point out some of the things that really stuck out to me. They say for the holidays we're going to be getting more dark crystals for free. Hopefully that means we're going to get an increase, or at least like all the supply pods have dark crystals or something like that again, because on top of that we are getting a Nemesis Rerun on December 15th. And some of the people that were not able to play the first month of the game didn't get their hands on Nemesis, and Nemesis is a pretty good character. But there are characters in the future like Fenrir who may be able to replace her, so you might have to decide, do you want to use your Rose on this rerun, or maybe wait for the next one. Another big thing is we're getting our first dual banner. We are getting Lyra and Tian at the same time on December 22nd when the patch begins. So last night I ended up doing a video on possible banner predictions on the timeline for the banners in the future. And then we have our weekly tab. And again, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys that warning. You may want to save some type 3 keys because we could be getting some new gear pieces in patch 2.2. But you want to make sure you do enough things down here so that we can get everything up top. Which brings us to our challenges. So if you're trying to do something like the Bygone Phantasm or Frontier Clash, you might want to save your Mia's Kitchen so that way you can power yourself up. But starting with the Bygone Phantasm, I recommend that you take a look at this weapon bonus. If you have a good weapon bonus, you might want to do this sneak to next level. If your CS is high enough, you're going to be able to jump up 11 levels as long as you can beat that floor. But the big way to determine your rank for the week is to get a high score in Sequential Phantasm. If you're able to pull that off, it's going to be very hard to beat beat you. Frontier Clash. Now you can go ahead and try to run this so you can get some extra pieces of gear, or you could just wait till the weekend and run all 3. Void Risk. We got another attempt today, so go ahead and run that so that we got that chance for that possible matrixy. Wormhole. Today is the last day to go ahead and complete this, and you want to make sure you do so that we can get that 640 crystal dust. Raids. You want to make sure you do the last 2 on heroic, and you do battle test area on heroic so that way you can get the best rewards. Break from Destiny. You want to make sure you play this at least 1 time this season so that we can get those 250 dark crystals. Apex League. If you're trying to reach Grand Marshal, you want to put a couple hours in each day. Then we got our daily buys, so you want to go to shop, hot, and then buy your 2 vitality solutions. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and pass since I already have 105. But if you can afford it, try to get your advancement modules and your booster modules for the week. And if you want to well out, you can always do appointed research. Which brings us to the Commissary, starting with the Crystal Dust Store. So again, you want to buy your advancement modules, your booster modules, and your Vera special gift. When it comes to your potent omnium crystal, I recommend that you pass because we should get enough to reach 8.3 or an 8.4 suppressor through exploration alone. But what you can do with your golden crystal dust is buy a good pair of boots. If you have a good pair of boots, then you can buy hands, and if you have a good pair of hands, then you can buy whatever else you want. FaceTime Store. Now you want to buy your booster modules, your advancement modules, and your data repeater for the week. Cruise Store. Now the only thing you should be spending your points on are relics, and the relics that I recommend are Space Time Rift, unless you have a level 3 or Omnium Shield. Support Store. You want to buy your 3 joint supply chips for the week, and if you can, try to buy the proof of purchase and Goat Nucleus using return support points. And if you need help on how to do that, I got a guide on my channel. Now the only thing I recommend that you spend your points on are spare special gifts so that way you don't have to do training, black market, or Cetus Island again. But if you need to level up your matrices or weapons, you could always buy weapon batteries or matrix data packs. But besides that, I just recommend that you explore Vera. Now that we know December 22nd is when patch 2.2 comes out, the more of this you have explored, the less stuff you need to do in the game. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If so, feel free to check out my predictions on the upcoming banners. But other than that, talk with you guys later.